In addition to energy, one of the key things that we need to do is start to populate the parks with businesses and attract businesses. And one of the areas that we've been focused on is looking at businesses from the West and bringing them in and building partnerships between them and ourselves. Two really big ideas, among many, actually, but that we're going to develop these today for you, is palm oil and then a healthy line, healthy food umbrella, in addition to healthy medicine. And so palm oil, which is a healthy food actually, is a giant opportunity. Globally now, the price of palm oil is going through the roof, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Over the past 15 years, it's been growing at double the rate of inflation. And there's reasons for that. Also, we're expecting to see, we'd like to take production from the 1.5 million metric tons today up to 12 million metric tons for the southeast, south of Nigeria. And that would be double-digit category growth rate. The other thing is that palm oil now is predicted to go from 80 up to, it's actually 240 million metric tons, not 230, by over the next 25 years. You know, and major leaders of production today, they're lagging behind the eight ball because their trees are getting old. So it's a clear opportunity for us to take. In the world of health food and health products, there's also a great opportunity because we're big into traditional medicine. From this chart, talking more about the global palm oil thing, you can see that the oil price has doubled over the past 10, 15 years. And it's gone from 670 euro per metric ton up to, well, these are dollars actually, $670 per metric ton up to almost 1,500 per metric ton, depends on the country and the source and so forth. But the key thing is that it's exploding. And there's some real specific reasons for that. Palm trees are a really high yield crop, as we well know. And, you know, you get 3 to 6 metric tons per hectare. And actually, at these kind of prices, there's more than $5,000 of revenue per hectare. The other thing about palm trees is that they're not only high yield, they last a long time. They're good for 25 years. It's almost like building a production facility without putting any more capital into it for 25 years. It's just unheard of. This is like the best example of biological capital, if you think of it in those terms. The kind of products that are demanding this are listed here. A lot of food products, because palm oil doesn't have trans fatty acid in it. And trans fatty acid and heart health is actually the only medical claim that the FDA allows in the United States on a food product. Everything else has to be done very sneakily. This one, you can come right out and say it. So the demand for this is just growing through the roof. And as the rest of the world starts to eat better, the need for palm oil is just exploding. When we look at other countries, they're getting the hint too. I mean, I mentioned some countries like Malaysia and Indonesia, they're falling behind a bit because their trees are getting old and they're not producing at the same rate that they did before. So I think their volumes have even fallen off. Cote d'Ivoire is talking, well, they're building a plant now, and it's going to be a $200 million plant, if you can imagine that, with 100,000 tons. You can see that others are starting to pay attention. It's really a unique opportunity for us. There's been some effort in the Nigeria area as well to do this, but you know what? We need to really explode this opportunity and ramp it way up. It's really a unique opportunity. There aren't many 5,000-year-old commodities that are getting a new facelift today. It's really rare that this would happen. And this trans fatty acid thing, plus the increased demand globally for more food, more high quality food, is driving it. It's really a once in a shot opportunity for us in the southeast and south of and middle belt of Nigeria. I think the other thing, it's also an opportunity from an environmental point of view. 14% of the trees have been cut away because people out in the village, they're just running out of money and they don't have jobs. They don't know where to get money, so they're cutting the wood to sell it, and so the forest is starting to disappear. This would put it back. We can repopulate, and within a few years, places where all of us, I know personally, I've gone down roads, even the road, Port Harcourt Road between the airport and Owerri, a lot of it's barren along the sides of the roads when it used to be a dark forest of palm trees. We can fix that with this. I mentioned before I would talk more about the price, demand, supply situation. This is really a picture of what's going on. Currently, the demand is far outstripping the supply because of the health reasons and the demand for food. And when demand outstrips supply, price goes up. And that's why price is so high. Prices, I have it 1,000 here, but it's up to 1,500 on occasion. The price is really high, and it's going to stay high until the supply catches up with the demand. And we're so far behind on the supply side that we've got a good 20 years in front of us where the supply could be growing at a really high rate, in the double-digit kind of rate to get up to the 240 million metric ton projection that's in front of us 25 years from now. The thing is, once it catches up, the price is going to drop. It's going to come back down. By 2050, it'll start dropping like crazy. And then it'll still be a good business, but now's the time to build volume at a really, really attractive price for the manufacturer. We got to get onto this. We need to work together to make this happen. On that last chart, we need to understand that if we don't get on this thing right now, others are going to get onto it. Now's the chance. Now's the time. We need to group together. The U.S. will be very interested in this. This would be one where we could work these things together, and we could take advantage of some of the tariff story and all that President Trump is driving in the U.S. The last thing I wanted to really mention deals with the traditional medicine. There are scores of herbal remedies, mineral substances, practices, and so forth that our medicine people at the village level apply. And you know what? The stuff works. We need to develop a science community and a science effort that explains why they work. Then, at the same time, put together a production strategy, and a harvesting strategy, and then make it happen so that we can build this. They're very interested to make this happen. We've all been listening to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the Human and Health Department in the U.S. talk about how he wants to get back to nature. He wants to get away from big pharma. He doesn't want to have, over excessive vaccinations and all of that kind of stuff. This is the replacement for that. And you know what? Other than China, we're the ones. And you know what? The U.S. isn't going to be working with China anytime soon. They're going to work with us. We need to have our story together, though, and make it happen. With that, I'll turn it back over. Thanks.